Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 354. Today, you're going to hear 3 reasons why Gucci Erasmus is so badass. So, if you haven't listened to the last episode, I think that it's a must listen. It's a great way to start off the new year because Gucci is so bold and I freaking love it. So, definitely go back, give that a listen. If you are loving these episodes, like the 12 Days of Badassery or the episode with Gucci, then head on over to iTunes and leave a 5-star rating and review. Every single rating or review that you leave helps the podcast and helps other badasses just like you find the show. Okay, with that, let's get to the episode.
Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I am so glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 reasons Gucci Erasmus is so badass. Now, there was so much goodness in that episode, and I could list on and on the things that are badass, but we'll just go with 3 today. So definitely, to me, that's a must listen. Go back, check it out, because we want to start our year on fire. I hope 2023, you ended it on fire, doing the 12 days of badassery and really just embracing your inner strength. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about Gucci that was so badass was her resilience in the face of adversity. Over and over again, she was able to bounce back to handle these crazy things that were thrown her way. And she found a way to use it as a source of strength instead of letting it take her down. Because it's so easy when we have these hard things come our way to like let it bury us, right? And sometimes that's normal. Sometimes things are gonna like feel like they took you out or like they're gonna make you emotional, drain you, those kind of things. That is fine. It's then what you do after. Or maybe you lost a loved one and it was hard for 3 years and you felt like you were just underwater, but then now you're reclaiming your life. That's still just as badass. You are here, you are alive, you are growing. Obviously, you're listening to this podcast, so I'm just going to go ahead and say you're a badass. But Gucci, she was able to be very resilient at a young age. She said her mom had her mom had mental health issues and had attempted suicide. And she was the one that knew and she saved her mom. And so her mom always had a little bit of resentment to that. And so that's hard because when you're a kid, you don't understand, right? You don't understand why somebody would be mad at you or why they're harboring that against you. And then you grow up in that shadow, so to speak, the rest of your life. And so she very much could have went into victim mindset or victim mode and just been like, poor pitiful me. My mom didn't want me to be around, or my mom was upset with me, or whatever the story that you'd tell yourself, right? And she could have stuck with that story. But instead, she showed up and she was resilient. And there's times and time again throughout her story, like how she talked about moving to different countries. And one was on her, or one was before she had kids, and another one after she had kids, right? But trying to adapt, meet all new people, it is intimidating being around a bunch of people that you don't know and not having any friends in a country. I can't even imagine. But she did it, right? And she'd pick up and move and like switch careers, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But she did so much and really learned how to bounce back, even when things were freaking hard. So that I admire about Gucci. I think that's so badass that she's very resilient in the face of fear or in the face of adversity. She's able to overcome her fear and take action. Okay, number 2 is Gucci's career evolution and her bravery. She has been so brave in her career and she's done things that are her way. And she's had to go through several phases of her career, right? And even when she moved to a new country, I think when she moved to Canada, she just took a job. She took like any job and just went all in. And then because she was doing so good, another company recruited her. And so she ended up going and working for another company. And then she retired. She's like, okay, this isn't my thing anymore. I want to do this. And so she really set her own path. She made her own way. I think that passion is wildly underestimated. We think we have to have all of the skills, and we forget that sometimes passion can more than make up for the skills we don't have. Even when it comes to like a resume, right? You don't, or we look at a job and we look at all the qualifications and it's like, oh, I don't have that one. I can't put in for it. Whereas I'm sorry, but a lot of men, they would put in for it, even if they didn't have 100% of the qualifications. But if you have the passion, if you have the curiosity and the willingness to learn, you can get there. You can be better than somebody else who, like, on paper meets all of the qualifications. But really, Gucci was able to step in and with a new job, a new country, living somewhere she didn't know, and step in and just go all in. And then she made her way. And then other people started noticing her and be like, "Oh, we want you, right? Come work for us." And it was all because of her willingness to dive in, her curiosity, her willingness to learn, to help other people out. That is huge, huge. And I think that's very badass. And then it can also be hard to take the leap. You're in a corporate job and then you decide to retire and be an entrepreneur. That can be intimidating as heck, especially if you haven't done the entrepreneurial thing before. So then you go your whole life, you go your whole career or a big chunk of your working career at working for somebody else. And then you're like, nope, now it's me. Now it's my turn. I'm going to help women, help encourage women, empower women, right? And that's what she did. And so she didn't let fear stop her. She did what her instincts told her, her intuition. She let that guide her. And I think that her career evolution, her bravery, willingness to take it on or take anything on, that is very badass. And that comes in handy, not just if you have to switch countries or switch jobs. It comes in handy like on a daily basis. If you're willing to embrace the change or help other people or dive right in and learn. Where in your life are you being like Gucci? Where are you choosing to take your own path? You're not listening to what other people want for you. You're doing what you want, what you know is right for you. Just reflect where in your life you're doing that, where you're picking your own path or your own way. How does that feel? Okay, number three is Gucci's unconventional choices. I love this. Just the way she is unapologetically Gucci, and she will just say no. If something's not working for her, she will say no. If somebody says something like in a meeting or in a group of people that she feels is discouraging or talking down to somebody, she will speak up. And that to me is a breath of fresh air. I love it. And she also made the unconventional choice about her book. She wrote a book and didn't publish it. She needed to get it out of her system. So she wrote it for that. Initially, she thought she'd publish it. And then she's like, no, this is going to tie me to this subject for the rest of my life. I don't want to talk about this all the time. I don't want to talk about this forever. And so she never published it. She just knew, okay, I got it out, got the information that was in my heart or in my soul. I got it out onto paper. And then now I'm good to go. I don't need to publish it. Whereas most other people would be like, oh, well, I wrote the book. I have to publish it. And then you'd publish it just out of a feeling of obligation, even if you didn't want to talk about it, even if it seemed like a prison sentence to you, because that's what happens sometimes. We make a decision, we think it's good, and the part way along the way, we're like, oh, I don't want to do this. But then we're too embarrassed to say no, or we don't know how to get out of it. Maybe we think we'll look stupid. And so then we continue on with something that our heart is no longer in. So I think that is very badass that Gucci was like, nope, this isn't for me anymore. This isn't what I want to do. And so she never published that book. And it can be easy from the outside to be like, publish the book. I want to read it. But if that's not your calling, if that's not what you want to talk about anymore, then why? If it's just not of interest to you, it doesn't have to be a book for you. There could be something in your life you said yes to, or you made this big lofty goal and you announced it to people, and then you're like, this no longer aligns with me. It is okay to back out. It is okay to say no. It is okay to make the bold, unconventional choice and do what you want to do, even if that makes you feel like the black sheep or look like the black sheep or look like you stand out, like you're different from everybody else. That is okay. I think when we're younger, it's so hard. We think we want to blend in with everybody else, and we're taught that all the way through life. But it's like, no, it is actually refreshing to not be like everybody else, to stand out, to do your own thing, to do things your way, as opposed to the typical way that everybody else is doing them. Okay, quick recap. 3 reasons why Gucci Erasmus is so badass. First is because of her resilience in the face of fear. Second, for her career evolution and bravery. And number 3, for her unconventional choices. I haven't said this in a minute, but it's important when we hear somebody that we resonate, when we hear somebody that's bold, that's badass, that makes us want to take action, reach out to them, let them know the impact they had on you. It is so huge and so important. Okay, with that, we'll end the show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.